Episode 2467 of the number one podcast in Apple Podcasts for job search. You're listening to or watching No BS Job Search Advice Radio. I'm your host, Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter, and welcome. I started to be called the Big Game Hunter when I did recruiting. Did that for a long time. Filled a lot of positions and transitioned to coaching probably about 6 years ago. Don't do recruiting anymore. Don't send me your resume wanting my help with finding a job as a recruiter. I coach. I'll teach you the processes, teach you how to interview, negotiate. I'm your ally in this. That's what people hire me for. No BS career advice. With a job search, hiring more effectively, management, leadership, career transitions, resolving workplace issues. Before I go further, I'll just remind you that there's a link in the show notes to a new book I participated in called What We Got Wrong About Business. Free. Download it, enjoy it. Not long, very good. Enjoy the book. And today's show is about salary negotiation. And I'll have a link to something I wrote, I think it's what I wrote, about defer and deflect. When the screener asks you how much you're looking for, the goal is to defer and deflect, and I'll explain how to do that in the first link, and then this is what to do after. Hope you find this helpful and give it a great review wherever you listen to the show. And with that, let's get going. If you live in one of those areas where they're not legally allowed to ask what you're currently earning, but they can ask how much you're looking for. Usually this is a screener who's asking the question. That's true anywhere in the world. The first person you talk to, the person who has no authority over making the decision as to what your real value is asking you to put out a number to them. And they only have the ability to say no. They have no ability to say yes. So I have a strategy called Defer and Deflect, and I'll give you a link to it in the show notes. It's a short article that basically, it's maybe a paragraph long, that walks through how to respond to the screener when they ask. But now you're past that point. You've interviewed with the team, and the screener, the recruiter who's handling this position, wants to know what you're looking for. So it starts off with you understanding what your value is in the market. You need to do research about that. And thus, let's say you find out your value is 100 to 110, and you're really looking for 110 in this. And the next band above you, because companies work with salary ranges for different bands of positions. The next one is 110 to 125. So the way to respond when they now ask you about salary is to respond by saying, correct me if I'm wrong, but I understand that people like me usually earn somewhere between 110 and maybe 120. And what you're doing is anchoring them in to the higher range rather than the lower one. You're still mentioning the same number, but what you're doing is influencing them to think higher rather than lower. After all, if you'd said 100 to 110, which is the existing band that you might fit into, they're going to respond somewhere within that range. But if you say 110 to 120, maybe 125, I'm curious. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I understand that people like me usually earn somewhere in that range. That makes them think higher, and you're anchoring them into the higher range rather than the lower one. Practice saying this so that you're not getting into a conversation cold and then you want to hit yourself for having blown it. Hope you found this helpful. I'm Jeff Altman. My website is thebiggamehunter.us. Go there and go exploring. There's a lot there to help you. In addition, if you're interested in one-on-one coaching, you can schedule time with me for a free discovery call, schedule time for coaching. The coaching, people hire me for no BS career advice, which exists along the life cycle of your career. Job search, hiring better, management, leadership, career transition, salary negotiation, of course, the whole range of skills and experiences that you're going to need in your career. Also, connect with me on LinkedIn at linkedin.com/IN/the big game hunter. Have a terrific day, and most importantly, be great.